All right, guys, we are live. We are live. Sorry, I thought I was talking to everyone. I'm pretty sure everyone can hear me now. But I wanted to jump on here and make this video. I had this request about a month and a half ago from Emergent Reasons. Emergent Reasons made this request. We hopped on a call and he saw all the onboarding we were doing and he wanted to get feedback. He wanted to get real world feedback from what it's like out there onboarding businesses. What's it like when you speak to these merchants? What are questions you get? What are challenges you get? And I just want to check one more time, guys. Can you guys hear me? Just want to make sure everything is good. Let's share out this video. We got 6 in the chat. I want to get more people on here. If you can hear me, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Market Scraper, my brother in the house. How are you, man? How have you been? It's been too long. Thanks for hopping on, man. I don't know if you've been following, but I've been onboarding a lot of businesses. Mr. Veer, Roger, how's it going, brother? Thanks for hopping on, guys. Share out the video, hit that thumbs up button. It helps the video reach more people and learn about the hardest things of getting businesses to accept Bitcoin Cash. And as we get more people coming in, I'll preface it again that this was a question that came from Emergent Reasons, a very busy person in the Bitcoin Cash ecosystem. And he's a really good dude. When he saw the onboarding we did, he wanted to schedule a call with me. We hopped on a call and he wanted my feedback. What's it like out there talking to these business owners and talking to these merchants? And I had a really fortunate situation when I started my onboarding journey versus everyone else that really wants to use crypto in their life and don't have the businesses to do it and want to figure out how to do it, right? So I was fortunate to go out to St. Kitts and see all the work that Roger and Sonny and Mark were all doing out there and spreading Bitcoin Cash all over the Caribbean. It's truly a crypto paradise. And if you haven't seen the video of my trip out there, I highly recommend watching it. I recommend anyone watching any of the content going out, any of the content relating to Bitcoin Cash adoption in the Caribbean. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. So OG. All right, we got 11 live here. It's good to see everyone. It's been a crazy week in crypto. Crypto's really good at keeping things interesting, to say the least. Never a dull moment in crypto. But yeah, actually, today we got 3 more businesses on the map. I've met a lot of cool people in this process of doing the Flip Starter and onboarding businesses. I've had people drive from all over the state of Florida to come and help me with what I'm doing. And it's been really cool. And actually a gentleman named Mark I live in Palm Beach County, down in Fort Lauderdale. He lives down there. He's came up and actually wanted to help me onboard as well. And I have a lot of businesses that I have this chain of convenience stores and gas stations. And he said, I'll onboard all the ones in Fort Lauderdale. It's like an hour drive for me. So he comes up to my office once a week. We talk crypto, we talk Bitcoin Cash, and he's well trained he's been using crypto for, I think, 9 years now. So, and he wants to use these gas stations that he lives by. So he helped me onboard those. We got 3 more live today, and we continue on. So I think we're getting pretty close to 50 businesses in South Florida, pretty much Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale. So a lot of people think that the biggest challenge is the volatility. That's not actually the biggest challenge. And I'll explain why. So people think it's a big challenge. They'll say, Ryan, like, how do people use this as a currency every day? It's up here, it's down here. What if I have a low margin business? Like, I own a low margin business. I accept crypto. And that's a good question, because it sometimes doesn't make sense. If you get a 50% decline, you don't have a 50% margin, that doesn't help, right? But also, if you're more longer term thinking and you've been in crypto for 5+ years, you know that time is on your side, right? So you don't mind some volatility. And the biggest things people don't realize, if I say I'm accepting Bitcoin Cash or cryptocurrency tomorrow, it doesn't mean that everyone's going to start knocking down your door and giving you cryptocurrency. It's not going to be a major problem. And the caveat you got to give people, say, when it becomes a major problem, everyone's giving you crypto, everyone's going to give you Bitcoin Cash, the Bitcoin Cash you collect today is going to be worth a lot more at that time, when it actually becomes a problem, when you're worried about paying other people in the supply chain. So this is a very false narrative that people don't understand, that accepting crypto for payments is not going to disrupt your normal cash flow, and the volatility is not going to bother you. And when it does, you are going to be a huge beneficiary by accepting now. So hopefully it's helpful to people that think that don't understand how this can work as money, or how the evolution of more people accepting it. It's going to be the more gradual people that start using it, and the more people you get walking your business want to spend with it. By being an early adopter, that gives you an advantage, because when it becomes a problem, your crypto will be worth a lot more. So that's not the biggest issue. I want to read some of the comments here as I get to the biggest issue. There's one really big, for me, like, and everyone I think in their onboarding journey will have challenges, right? And I'm curious to hear other people's. I'm going to share mine as we get through what people think is and what actually for me is. So Mark comments here. This is probably a very good comment, because I learned onboarding from Mark and Sunny, and it was very helpful, and from Bitcoin Jason's videos too. Mark says, when demand is high enough, when even 10% of your sales are BCH, you're going to be financially sound for life. Yes. Yeah. When you start getting 10% of your revenue in Bitcoin Cash, our Bitcoin Cash will be worth an insane amount of money. So yeah, don't have a fear of accepting it and even holding some, right? Just because you accept it doesn't mean you're going to hold it, right? And some things that we would tell business owners is you can accept it, you can swap it right there in your Bitcoin.com wallet that we onboard people with into various currencies that the non-custodial wallet offers. So that's something actually very big. People learn something very uniquely when you onboard them with Bitcoin Cash and the tools that are available in the ecosystem, is that they don't know what a non-custodial wallet is. They buy crypto on their phone, and they think they're doing crypto because they bought some on an exchange and they're holding their coins. They don't know what they're doing. So they're so grateful for the opportunity to learn what a non-custodial wallet is and what it means to hold your keys, and how powerful that is from anything else they've ever understood about the financial system and money in general. So my dog's over here. So people are super grateful when you take the time to explain how the true magic invention, not the magic invention, but the amazing invention for Bitcoin was that it allowed you to have sovereign control of your money on the internet. So back to some other questions here. Market says, is there a feature for stores to accept BCH and instantly convert it to avoid this if wanted? So yeah, but I don't practice in that, and I tell them there are plenty of tools out there that can. So there's big companies like BitPay, or around the world, there's something called Go Crypto, which has done a tremendous job getting businesses to accept. Around me, and around the United States, if you use map.bitcoin.com, which I use as a resource to put businesses on there, you'll see MenuFi is big in crypto acceptance, and they charge like a 2.5% fee for it. But I think it gives you the option to convert X amount into dollars or something like that. But that's not what I got in crypto for. And I tell people those tools are available. I'm here to teach you how to do it in a non-custodial way and control your money, and teach you something that they're really grateful to learn, and how to actually control their money. When I explain, I show them my wallet. Like, I'll pull out my wallet. I'll say, this is a non-custodial wallet. Like, I decide what goes and comes from here. When you use your bank account, you can ask them for your money, and most of the times they give it to you, but in certain scenarios they don't. So it's a good question, Market. OG says, BCH is so much better, easier to accept as payment for all of my sales. Doesn't even compare to fiat. Yeah, so the idea of, like, the worst things about getting a business to accept Bitcoin Cash is a really tough question to answer, because it's so much better than anything else they've ever experienced. I gave a client today $5 in BCH. He's going to be accepting BCH at his 3 locations. And he couldn't believe how quickly I sent him a shareable link in the Bitcoin.com wallet. Market, I'm going to send you after this, because Market, I know you're in investing. I don't think you have used the Bitcoin.com wallet maybe, but I want you to try it out. I can send you a link on like Instagram, and it'll just send you money, and it'll give you like a link that will download a wallet for you, and the money will appear in that wallet. You don't have to KYC yourself. You just accept the money, and it's there. And when you do that to people, they're blown away. I didn't have to sign up. I just got digital internet cash. It took like less than a minute. This is how money can work, and they're truly blown away. I think it's one of the most powerful tools in the monetary world, and certainly the crypto world. So Korean boy Jay says, especially when they are new to crypto, it is very difficult to onboard people. I don't agree with that. And think about it like this, Korean. A business just wants to get more customers, right? And they want to, accommodate more kinds of customers. So they allow Visa, they allow MasterCard, they allow Amex, they allow dollars, why not Bitcoin Cash? Their job is to accommodate the market. And then if they decided what they want to do with their Bitcoin Cash after they accept it, that is up to them. But I don't think that's accurate in my experience. And I think if you're getting some hurdles, you have to explain, let's say, I don't want to accept Bitcoin Cash, right? Well, I just nicely show them like, hey, look at map.bitcoin.com. This is a service we're going to put you on. So people like me that want to patronize crypto-friendly businesses, now these people will come to you. They would have otherwise chosen another business, but because you accommodate their ways of payment, they will now come to you. So why would you say no to more customers? It's not going to change your current customers' purchasing behavior. And when it does, you're going to make a lot of upside on the coins that you acquire. So he goes, I introduced BCH to some of my real life friends at BCH at 400 price, and they laugh at me saying I'm losing it all. Yeah. So I'm empathetic to that because I went through that when I got into crypto. And when the market just doesn't always go up, people feel like they're right? Well, because the price doesn't go up. So I think time in the market will prove them wrong. And these will be the people that will buy our coins up like crazy. They'll be the buyers of Bitcoin Cash at $5,000 in the next bull market, right? So anyways, not financial advice. HP says, do you encourage the business to buy a small amount of BCH like now when the price is suppressed and hold as a small reserve? So I don't give them financial advice, right? I tell them the benefits of accepting Bitcoin Cash through peer-to-peer, not getting it through an exchange, because it's like cash, and I'll leave it there. However you treat cash you accept, that's cash, right? Cash has a certain amount of fungibility to it, right? And Bitcoin Cash, crypto in general lacks some fungibility in some ways, but also if you receive it as cash, it is more fungible. And if you want me to elaborate on that, I will, but I think most of the people here will understand accepting Bitcoin Cash in forms of payment is a big advantage versus buying it off an exchange. So Marcos, the more scary it is to accept BCH, the better time it is to accept it. That is certainly true this week. I've reminded myself that this is a pretty chaotic week for Bitcoin Cash too. But we're here to talk onboarding. Bitcoin Jason, so he does a tremendous job. If people don't know Bitcoin Jason, market you may not know because you're not as involved in BCH ecosystem, but Bitcoin Jason lives in Townsville, Australia, also known as the Bitcoin Cash City. So they have well over 150 businesses that accept Bitcoin Cash as payments. And Bitcoin Jason is the curator of those. So he is their source to help them with everything in their area. I'm doing something like he's doing over here. They've been doing it for a long time there, so they probably have a nice built out ecosystem over there. I want to get over there one day soon. BOI about time. Funky Fresh, we have 15 in the chat. Do you believe in any cryptos and use their cases or focus solely on BCH adoption? I buy about 10 coins. There's 10 coins that I think that I like buying, and I like Monero. I like Ethereum. I like coins like that. I like, and I'll speculate into things, but I build on Bitcoin Cash because Bitcoin Cash is why I got into crypto. It's why it was the fabric of Bitcoin, right? It was what made Bitcoin great. Market Scraper says, what coins do you convert and why go only in BCH? So let him answer that. So another question I'll get is the taxes, which I see people talking about taxes. So taxes, moving around money and having it become a taxable event every time you do that is not useful. And it is one of the worst things, right? But again, we're talking about a little bit of reconciling, a light amount of reconciling at the end of the month for a tax accountant. That is, again, not overly burdensome, right? Because most people, when they understand the dynamics of, okay, more people will come to my business and patronize me. Okay, I understand, we give these informational cards on Bitcoin Cash, the economics of it, the 21 million coins, how you can hold sovereign control of it. And we explain some of the features and say how it's different from dollars. And most entrepreneurs want to be forward thinking, right? You're looking for opportunities, right? And a person that took their life savings and opened a restaurant understands the value of being forward thinking and looking for new ways to adapt to the marketplace. So most of them don't mind these small hurdles to be a part of the future. They've been hearing about crypto for a long time. Crypto has been around for over a decade now, and it's probably been very loud and I want to say like pretty popular retail since the 2017 run. And they know it's coming. They know it's coming. So this allows them a tool that they've kind of subconsciously been looking for. They've been looking on how to accept crypto for payments. And I walked through the door and I got the tools, right? They just don't have the tools. And I'll touch on that more here in a second, the proper tools to onboard businesses. I use a certain amount of tools and I'll explain more. Bitcoin Jason has a Cybertruck wrapped with BCH. I think that is genius marketing. Yeah, once I ordered a Cybertruck too, so maybe I'll wrap it in BCH. Even if I pay in USD, I would support a storefront that accepts BCH for being a part of the ecosystem. Exactly. And there'll only be more of us in the future. Because everyone, like you can look at different people that get involved with crypto and they just have these aha moments, like why it makes sense to have competing currencies that have different characteristics. And then and you'll see things happen in the world. Like I didn't understand the Canadian government could freeze everyone's bank account. Like they can't do that with my Bitcoin.com wallet. Like it's kind of mind blowing when you think about whose money this really is, right? Is it your money if the government can freeze your bank account? Probably not. Are there any tax advantages for businesses? You can write off your losses or your gains, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So let's say all the crypto I've accumulated over generally the last year or so is down. So I can sell some of the crypto that I've accepted for my business. I can get a tax write-off and I'll buy it right back immediately. In the future, I will see those profits if our thesis is correct. Again, this is not financial advice, right? This is just me trying to build a future world that I think would be more interesting to live in. And that's one that's built on the values that the Bitcoin Cash community has. So Bitcoin Jason is paving the way for Australia. 170 plus businesses full-time on Bitcoin Cash. It's pretty cool. Okay, hello from the other side. Roger says, take the USD that you would normally spend, buy BCH, and spend that to buy things that you would buy normally. That will get more and more BCH users into capital into the ecosystem. That's absolutely what I try to explain to people. So like, for example, my brother owed me some money we got my mom a birthday present, right? I'm saying, pay me back in Bitcoin Cash. Is, when you do that too, just with your peers, you kind of force them to figure out how to do it, right? So, and it just gets more people involved. Like the simple education on knowing how to use a crypto wallet, something as simple as the Bitcoin Cash wallet, is very simple. But again, you just have to do it. You have to know where the buttons are on the screen. Okay, I scan here. Okay, my receive is here. Okay, I can create multiple wallets. Simplicity is your friend. Yeah, but you just still have to do it. You have to try to pay for something in crypto, because you might be just fine in your life using dollars, right? And you may not know when you need to make a crypto purchase. I saw someone in Ukraine, like the banks were down for some reason when the Russians were attacking, and he needed to buy a car to get out of the country. And he actually used Bitcoin. He bought Bitcoin, bought a car in it, because whatever bank services were unable to transact. So you never know when you need crypto, and having the education on how to do it could even save your life, so. Jason, I've heard you say it a couple times that COVID was the best thing for the adoption in your country. Did that have to do with the tyrannical approach of the Australian government, that people were thinking more pro-freedom and saw Bitcoin Cash as a solution? Okay, so I've explained the volatility is not a big issue. I've explained the taxation is not a big issue. That's the two biggest things that people think about, right? trying to think of any other ones that people commonly think are problems. And there's really only two that really kind of stand out for me. One is just the overall, like there's been, I don't know if it's like a psychosis, but most people right now don't even like cash that much. People, because when I tell them, how to accept cryptocurrency, I explain that it's like accepting cash. How do you accept your cash? Where's that button on your POS system? Put that cash. And if you can add another button next to it that says Bitcoin Cash, make it Bitcoin Cash. Treat crypto like you treat cash. Make it very simple. So when you're trying to onboard and talk to businesses, and he's like, how do I accept this? Yada, yada, yada. You have the great tools of the Bitcoin Cash Register app, and then you can link that up with a non-custodial wallet, like the Bitcoin.com wallet. And but some businesses don't like to deal with cash. And I went to a trade show, and I'm in some conversations with a couple of payment processors. But a lot of people like to use their one POS terminal, and creating another POS terminal. For one business I really want to get on, she's a beautiful $10 million plus, annual revenue restaurant on the water. And she's a prominent, businesswoman in our area, and she wants to do it, but she sees it as, for some reason, like she needs to be in her POS to create an accounting nightmare. It's going to do this. And I think not having the full integration into one piece of equipment, that it is one of the worst things about adopting that. The fact that I can't just add another feature onto her POS system. I have to give her another one, or him or her in this scenario. So I've reached out to Toast and Heartland Payment Services. So we're in some communication, and I want to work with some of the developers to see how we can help integrate Bitcoin Cash into kind of more mainstream type POS systems, like Toast, like Heartland. So that would be a solution, because a lot of it helps with tracking a lot of things within their POS systems. It helps them keep their profit and loss clean. It helps them assign tips to servers. It gives them a lot of useful data that they can use for cash, and they just like it all in one area. Again, not the biggest issue in the world, but like tipping becomes a thing. Like how are we going to pay our servers tips if I'm accepting it here? And what we've traditionally done for a restaurant, you pay the restaurant for the meal, and then you have to tip the server, right? And I don't subject that the servers have to take crypto. I tell the business owner, these people should decide how they want to get paid. You shouldn't mandate that they get paid in Bitcoin Cash. But so far, all of them have wanted to do it. All of the servers have wanted to get paid in Bitcoin Cash as well. So, but like the main POS system helps them aggregate that all in one area, and like they can send out tips after, because like the business accepts all the tips, then pays it back out. So what we haven't done that. We just have the business accept all the revenue of the foods and drinks and all that stuff, and then the servers decide what they get paid in. So far, it's been mainly Bitcoin Cash, but you can also. But also, again, you don't want to mandate. There's one server that I didn't onboard the restaurant yet, but I offered her to tip her in Bitcoin Cash, and she asked for cash. And I said, well, I'll give you cash, and I'll give you the equivalent in Bitcoin Cash. And she was still hesitant. So, but that's one of the worst things, is that we don't have the whole. We need to get more involved with the POS systems in different industries that take payments in, and I'm working on that, and I'll share more feedback on that coming up. Let me go back to the chat. Okay, we got here over 50 locations in Pittsburgh except Bitcoin Cash. I did not know that. Let's go to Pittsburgh. I got about 50 here now too in South Florida. And also I saw there's a chain it's owned by Landry Restaurant Group. It's called Mastro's Steakhouse. They have about 10 restaurants that are piloting Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash all over the country. I don't know if people know this. So there's one in Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to drive down there this week, put a sticker in there, talk to the staff, and try to buy something in Bitcoin Cash. But it's something that I don't know if anyone else knows about. It's a huge company, and about 10 of their stores take Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Jason says, yes, our government went for rogue for a bit. So it's interesting. It backfired on them. They became more tyrannical, and the people wanted more freedom, and that helped crypto. Bitcoin Jason, our merchants can handle about $5 in BCH sales. After that, it becomes tricky. What do you mean by that? Our merchants can handle about $5 in Bitcoin Cash sales. After that, it becomes tricky. I don't understand why it would. If you don't mind elaborating. Korean Boy J says, true. It's extra work for the restaurant service owners for BCH sales they made. Yeah. So it's, I see what he's saying. So it's a little bit extra work, right? But also it can aggregate more business. And so there's also huge pros to for a little extra work. And how much extra work is it really? You're giving them the POS system, right? And they just have to use that to get scanned. And very, very, very simple. And it's just, I guess, while the volume is not huge and people paying yet, like Bitcoin Jason says, when they start getting over 5% of their payments in Bitcoin Cash, they see it as a little bit troublesome. And I wonder if it becomes troublesome due to the volatility or the needing for supply chain or paying labor, which, Jason, are you seeing businesses turn around and pay some labor in Bitcoin Cash? Because that's like the next step. That's what the Caribbean's doing a very good job of. They're getting more circular motion in Bitcoin Cash because payroll's a big deal. HP says, any way to set up a water business with external 24-hour filtered water? Sorry, having some tea. To accept Bitcoin Cash along with cards. No attendant on site. It's self-serve. You should check out these guys on Telegram. They have the Bitcoin Cash. They're building. They're really cool. They're focusing on scanning Bitcoin Cash for what's it's gonna sound dumb here, but like you scan. What's the thing? They're in break rooms. You get food in them, water. I feel dumb now. I'm gonna have to check that out. They created a tool with Bitcoin Cash, which is pretty cool. All right, Jose Human. Well, first all right. So we got 20 in the chat. We just hit 20. So I'll tell you the hardest thing for me. Like I said, not having a centralized system, I think, is one of the worst things. Again, not the biggest deal in the world, but honestly, let's be real here. Bitcoin Cash is probably some of the best money the world's ever seen, right? It's not hard to onboard businesses to use Bitcoin Cash. It's an amazing tool. It can serve a lot of purposes. My biggest challenge, and maybe I'm in a fortunate situation that I have so many people I talk to that want to accept Bitcoin Cash because I have direct relationships with business owners. But the hardest thing for me is time to get up there. There's 1,000 businesses down here. South Florida's flooded with them. I need to get to all these businesses, and it's time. It's in Jason. I know you do this full time, but I've done 50 businesses in the few months since my Flip Starter got funded, and I'm going to hit that 100 number here probably in the next few months, and do more to make sure that the Bitcoin Cash, we start getting more circular motion. But I also, run a few businesses. I have children. I have marriage. And I work on this YouTube channel. So the most difficult thing for me is the time, because onboarding a merchant properly should be about an hour's worth of work. So just sit through, show them all the features, educate them, answer their questions, and making sure they have a good understanding, and then staff and all that. So you're talking about an hour, and you're talking about commute time, and you're talking about there's making sure they document their seed phrase, all these different things. The most difficult part is just getting to them all. Now, that sounds crazy. So and I get a lot of comments on YouTube. People will say, "Oh, I wish, I can't wait for this to come to my area." You can't say that. You have to find the time and get the education. And I've put up videos on my channel. Bitcoin Jason has content on it. Mark's the onboarder. Sunny has a Telegram channel about onboarding. There's a lot of tools out there to educate people on how to do it. So we can all do it. The market wants it, right? And Bitcoin Cash has a huge advantage in the market because we actually want to use this alternative free market currency. And when I'm out there onboarding businesses to Bitcoin Cash, I'm getting no competition from Bitcoin, Dash, Monero, Digibyte, Doge. Where are these other chains? We have Bitcoin Cash people all over the world building areas of acceptance. And over time, this is going to be a huge advantage, and it's going to be undoubtedly superior in the behaviors we created, right? We've created so many users. Again, still a lot more to go. We're in the early days, but yeah. Here we go. Let's go. Bitcoin Core. So that's my feelings towards it. Everyone wants to use Bitcoin Cash. And when I say everyone, I mean 80+% of the businesses out there want to, if you just explain it to them properly and you help them. They will absolutely do it. Jason, a question: how often we see businesses receive over 5%? Share more what you've seen from the marketplace, and again, where those struggles are coming from. If it's paying out people with the Bitcoin Cash or the volatility, where do they get the issue with when it becomes over 5% of sales? Bitcoin Core is a problem on my country. I am Latin America. My neighbor country is El Salvador. And mentioned something crypto related is a problem, especially because of the bear market. We're in a bear market. I didn't notice. I'm joking. Furthermore, having Bitcoin Core posts and Bitcoin Core people in the future coming here to try to do the same on El Salvador just makes it worse. Yeah, I definitely think, a lot of people are critical of the El Salvador approach, mandating it, taking taxpayers' dollars to buy Bitcoin. It should be more what's happening in the Caribbean. It's just happening. People over there are building and businesses are accepting it and investors are giving them the tools. And it's just a voluntarily thing. If you don't want to use crypto, don't, if you don't want to accept it, don't. If you do, do. So what's happening in Latin America is unfortunate to some extent. So Bride Kadaz says, couldn't you scan a code? If you were in a parking lot and scan and pay, the gate goes up. Great idea. Yeah, there's tools being built like that. Bitcoin Cash module. Go on Telegram. There's people. All these tools are being built right now. HP, exactly. A snack bar. That's what I was talking about. Ryan, I see you buy BCH at $100 every day on Instagram. Yeah, I have fun on Instagram. I post what I'm doing in the market, and follow me over there if you want to see when I'm buying crypto. I bought a lot when we went under $1 trillion market cap. I was buying, and now that we're kind of bouncing around that range, buying here and there. If we, want to make sure if we take another leg down, I'm ready to buy a lot more. But my issue with that is eventually you're going to do that, and eventually the market will bottom. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't, right? But the market certainly could go lower, and I don't know. So my father's in the chat. He has some Bitcoin Cash, and talked to him about his business accepting it, and trying to explain to him that it's better to accept it than to buy it. But is any feedback on accounting for the end of the year? Yeah, it's simple, just profit and loss. If you made money on your Bitcoin Cash, you don't have, if you don't sell any of it or spend any of it, you don't have to worry about the capital gains tax. If you've spent some and you've made money, you have to pay a future you have to pay a tax on that currently. But the legislation, there's actually recent legislation from the senator out of Wyoming saying that purchases like under $200 would not be subjected to capital gains taxes. It'd be treated like cash. And expect to see more legislation like this moving forward, as I think America, knock on wood, will try to captivate as much crypto growth as possible. Not for good reasons. They just want to have a larger economy and be a stronger hegemonic power in the world. I don't think it's out of good nature, likely, but we'll have to see. Hello, future millionaire daddy. That's funny. Yeah, guys. So that's my feedback. I figured I'd hop on here and share. Like I said, I had this request from Imaginary Reasons. I don't think he's in the chat, so maybe he'll catch it on the feedback, or I'll probably hop on another call with him after onboarding for this time. Yeah, it's that every business wants to accept Bitcoin Cash. And my biggest encouragement is that, guys, even find the time you have to make a difference in your area And whatever I can do to help, certainly reach out. Any kind of feedback and encouragement I could give, I'm more than happy to do. And yeah, and I appreciate everyone hopping on. We still have 17 in the chat. You guys got anything else you want to know, hear, think? I'll stand here for another 10 minutes. And yeah, and we can chat about this crazy world in crypto. Easy says, thank you. Thank you for hopping on. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button. I appreciate it. So yeah, we are, if buying Bitcoin Cash at $100, even if, let's say we went back to this market cycle's all-time high, we'll probably do much better than that, right, in the future. So it seems like definitely a better time to buy than any other times recently, right, for the last couple of years. OG says, love to see all the progress in Florida. I might have missed it, but need progress with a group of businesses that has like 1,000. Yes, so you probably heard that. We onboarded 3 more of his stores today. We're not going to get the full 1,000 anytime soon, but I shouldn't say anytime soon. He wants to get more involved in the Bitcoin Cash space. He wants to see how he can help Bitcoin Cash. And guys, I'm going to be I'll be transparent to everything, right? But like, he wants to see how he can build in the ecosystem as well. So I said, look, I can introduce you to the community. If you have all these businesses that can accept it, we can look at different ways to continue to get you in the system building and accessing a lot more businesses that you have. So I think he's giving me these 10 to wet my beak on. And I think he wants to try to do something on a bigger scale and get involved in building in Bitcoin Cash, if that makes sense. So whether that's Flipstarter or something like that he wants to do at some point, I don't know. But we should we need to have more conversations with them, because 1,000 gas stations would be big. 10's awesome, right? But 1,000 is even better. So Bitcoin Jason says we have 16 in the chat. I will be announcing this week the event I'm taking part in. I'll have a booth for Bitcoin Cash August 20th and 21st here in South Florida. I'm wrapping everything up with the guy that's running the event. I'll be speaking at that event too, to make thousands of people more aware of the Bitcoin Cash spreading in South Florida. And we'll have a booth there to teach more people on how to accept Bitcoin Cash. So it'll be really cool. And also, I am announcing my golf tournament. The email went out. I'm just changing some of the marketing with it. But October 3rd here in South Florida, I'll be sending out all places that people can sign up and talk some Bitcoin Cash and donate to charity. So Bitcoin Jason says, we have merchant paying other merchants. Some pay wages. The 5% is a supply chain of fluctuations, which I'm finding solutions to. So Jason, I think in that scenario, 2 things. One, imaginary reasons the product they're trying to create sounds like it would offer a lot of help with the volatility with that. And I think the scary word everyone would say right now is stable coins, because they tend not to be too stable lately. But that was a solution to an idea to have people, if you have too much of it, just slide it in the wallet here, and then if the price goes down further, you can swap it back for BCH. But right now, I'm not sure what if any stable coins at all to recommend. I guess USDC is the one that kind of seems to be the most okay, but I don't know. So Jose says, thank you, Ryan. Keep up the good work. Hey, thanks for checking on the video, man. I really appreciate it. So thank you. Bitcoin Jason says, connection is key. Curating is time consuming with constant attention needed for education and business welfare checks. Connection is key. It's awesome, man. It's really, really cool. I think it's amazing how, like, everyone in the world should know that's going on. Like, everyone thinks what you're doing in Australia, I think it's a bigger deal than what happened in El Salvador. And everyone thinks El Salvador is some amazing thing. But even, just Queensland, Australia, and obviously that everything going on in the Caribbean as well. So Very cool stuff, guys. Yeah, how's everyone doing in the bear market? I feel like a lot of people in the Bitcoin Cash community are pretty crypto OGs. They understand that, the ups and downs of it. So I feel like certainly I feel that way. Like I knew like crypto eventually at some point was going to come crashing down, and that would be my opportunity, right? Like this bear market, I'm really thinking about going further in. I think last bear market, I definitely knew I wanted more and more crypto, but like I was too conservative. Maybe I had like 30% of like my net worth in crypto, and I think that was definitely a misallocation, right? I think this bear market I'd look to go like 80% into crypto. I think that's with my age. Currently, I'm still only 33, which is I'm getting older, but still have time. And I just think I don't see crypto as risky as I used to, even back in the last bear market. I guess the more I get involved in building with it, my confidence is much higher. So, and also like part of me always wants to have crypto because it's generally the future world I want to live in, right? Like, yeah, I want good returns on my capital, but I also like tend to invest in things that like would create the world that I would want to live in, if that makes sense. Like whether I invest into like genomics, like I want to live longer, right? I want more scientific innovation, or I invest in Tesla because I think Elon is creating interesting things that are like interesting for the future of humanity, or Bitcoin Cash, right? Because I think it's peer-to-peer electronic cash, which creates so much opportunity for so many more people in the world, and helps. And I had dinner with actually the CEO of Bitcoin.com, and I was really inspired by like the mission statement, right? Like that we create tools to create more economic freedom in the world. Like that's amazing. Like that's so inspiring to wake up every day to create more tools to create more economic freedom all the way around the world. Dino Danimal. How do you Dino D Animal? How do you pronounce that? How do you want that pronounced? Yeah, buying at least one BCH per paycheck. That's awesome. Yeah, right now if we're not at the bottom or haven't seen the bottom yet, we are damn close. We are hodling strong and killing the banking. Okay. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to reduce my BCH in this situation. So keep on spending and replacing, and if you spend some BCH, replace it with more than what you spent. BCH for the win. Keep the good work. Thanks for hopping in, guys. It means a lot. We had 20 in the chat tonight, and just an impromptu Monday night. Wanted to hop in and say hello. So Bitcoin Jason says, we have some merchants that have a lot of BCH sales. They do really well, though the success is so great that the 5% becomes an issue. Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see that with definitely the years of building over there. And yeah. Roger says, BCH fans should also promote entrepreneurialism. Yeah, and Roger, my experience has been that like in onboarding, that entrepreneurs like Bitcoin Cash or crypto in general, but let's say Bitcoin Cash when they see how it works, because they're more forward thinking. They see how things are likely to move, right? They're not people that just go work a 9 to 5 and look, watch what's on television, right? They're trying to do and be involved in the future world that's going to exist, because they need to learn how to move and adapt in the future world so they can survive, right? That's just capitalism. What do we got here? OG says, same age. I got spooked by CoinFlex fiasco short term. Yeah, OG, I saw your video on that. It was, I think it shook up everyone. No one saw that coming. It was, but confident and medium long term with all the adoption and development going on. So yeah, even look, there's going to be great companies, medium. There's going to be all kinds of things that are going to happen around Bitcoin Cash, right? It's just money, right? Even though everyone thinks like if something bad happened in Bitcoin Cash, yeah, it does hurt Bitcoin Cash in a way, but Bitcoin Cash is still money. Like it didn't not become money, right? And I saw Mark Lamb's interview he had on Bloomberg, and I see their plan to get back to getting withdrawals. It's really unfortunate situation because I really like those guys at CoinFlex and really feel bad for everyone that's negatively affected by this. So Bitcoin Jason says, in Australia, there's no tax for personal use spending. Hey, it's not as tyrannical over there as we thought. I saw some wild things going on in Australia, like police just beating the crap out of people for walking outside without a mask on. Pretty crazy. Smart BCH works great. Yeah. And I think this, what's gone on with CoinFlex, hopefully pushes more, and it already has, right? More solutions to hop onto the Smart BCH in more decentralized ways, and hopefully that continues. So, Bitcoin Jason, if it's business related, then normal income and expenses taxes apply. Got it. Traders have 50% capital gains tax the first year, then decrease over time. Wow, that's pretty high. Busy Mountain says, it amazes me. So many think using BTC for retail purchases is the way to go. So yeah, that is, I sent BTC to someone last week, and the fee was $1.78. And I was just like, thought about it. I only sent like $20. So it's like such a high percentage of what I actually sent. And, yeah. So again, everyone wants to talk about Lightning. I really recommend anyone that's thinking peer-to-peer cash and Lightning, go to the Bitcoin Cash podcast and see the podcast with Josh Elliothorpe. It's the episode 2 videos ago. And he's a Bitcoin Cash developer, coded software for many years, worked at Coinbase, and hear his thoughts on the Lightning Network and the future of that. And he calls it a spaghetti and just a dumpster fire. And I just haven't had success with Lightning. The only time it seems to work okay is in when it's in custodial situations. And yeah, that's pretty much doesn't look good. And Adam Back said something today about like how they're going to figure something out in the future still, and like gave some very odd responses, very low conviction. It's very strange. So yeah, keep on building what works. Bitcoin Cash is very easy to use, and it just works. Once more people start using crypto for retail, BCH becomes obvious. Yeah, obviously people who use crypto like Bitcoin Cash. Why BTC need LN if it works? Well, I think in the short term, there's like this benefit to the Bitcoin being crappy solution, right? I don't think it's a good long-term solution. And hear me out. If it's just not easy to use, people never use it. It never gets moved, and it just keeps on getting bought and speculated on, and because it has a very strong brand name, right? That it's helping the short-term price, right? So right now, a lot of things are being driven by price and not by utility. And it'll be interesting to see the events that occur in the future that allows utility to become more important than what is believed to be the short-term price. How many people on Twitter throw up the BTC BCH chart? Like that's all they talk about. That's all they talk about. You can't have a normal conversation with them without throwing up the chart, which again, you can get into the chart and price performance. And yeah, I mean, at the time of the fork, like BCH, like almost took out BTC, and it was such a strong contender for it that that the market really thought it was going to happen. So people were really hedging their bets, and probably over speculated into what was going to happen. But we're back to building. We're back to, I think, where BTC was in like 2014. So, yep. So again, guys, all right, about 50 minutes live. I'm going to hop off now and get ready for bed. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. I appreciate it. Anything I can do to help encourage your onboarding efforts and just adopt more people to use crypto in their life and teach them how to use it. Once they know how to use it, they'll start using it more. A big reason why people don't use crypto or Bitcoin Cash, they just don't know how to. They just don't know how to. They want to use it. Businesses want to accept it. Just help them. Businesses are easy to onboard. It's keeping them on board that requires us all to support them like Roger. It's absolutely true. Have a great night, guys. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Go buy some Bitcoin Cash tomorrow. Not financial advice.